Hello guys and welcome back. So let's talk about some of the technical things we can do to make the hair looks a bit to have more control of the hair. Not necessarily better because the deciding factor will be again the guides and the artistical choice of the shape you make. But it doesn't mean that we cannot have more control with extra features that Xgen have, which is something called expression. So the power of Xgen is use guide to guide primitives and also modifiers, and the next one will be expressions. So let's take a look at that. For example, here in the clumping 2, I want to have a stronger clumping, so let me drag this guy down and maybe make the clump value to be 1. You can see what it does is basically create this super strong clumping. And what I want to do next is kind of like wanted to have some area to have clumping, more clumping, and some area to have less. Okay, all right. So to be able to achieve that, I can either just pen it myself, or I can use expression. So here in the mask, I'm gonna go click on the expression here. Okay, you can see we have this value of 1. Okay, so this is the expression editor. For anyone who have a Houdini background and Vax background, this is like exactly, it feels like home. So what you do is you start typing in expressions to define where things are. And just like Houdini, Xgen gives you a lot of attributes that you can already access from the geometry. As you can see, the $P, which is basically our @P in Houdini, which is the surface point of the location, right? Without displacement and all those things. Okay. You have normal direction. You have a lot of things that you can reference as global variables. So back here to the library, hit no. What we can do is we can then define the noise ourselves, and it has auto completion. Okay, and that's really good. This is the first one I see that another like custom program does have this. You don't have this in Maya script editor. You don't have it in Houdini. You have it in Visual Studio though. So I really like this kind of like auto completion thing. So I'm gonna create a noise here. Noise or P noise, periodical noise should be fine here, and it gives you hints. If you type in comma here, it tells you what kind of argument does it take. So it takes a vector, it takes a period also. So what we do is we use the position of the points as the first argument. The second argument will be a random vector. We can use square bracket to define vector. I'm gonna go for 0, 0, 0. Okay, and then I can do apply. You can see now we have a noise here. I can see now it start to influence where do you have the clumping, where do you not. You can have a little bit of area that has a clumping and some area that doesn't. You can see the preview of the noise. Okay, now to crank it up, we can time it by like, and multiply that by maybe 2. Okay, and you can control enter to make it stronger. You can see some area are start having those. See, now you can have this very cool variation. Now you have smaller clumping here, but you have a lot of area that doesn't have that. If you want to change the frequency of this, I can time that the position by something. So if I time that by 2 and then accept, oops, back here to the expression, you can see I'm basically having a higher frequency here, and I can even create a variable for that. So what I can do is I can say $, $frequency equals to 1. Okay, and then a semicolon. You can see now I suddenly have a frequency value here. Okay, and I believe I can change the value to be something bigger. And it doesn't change because I think I have limitations. You can do this. I believe you can type in the range. I'm not quite remember that, but you can go add widget and go for a float number. You can define default min and max values, and you can give it a name. So I'm gonna call this frequency this time using its widget. Frequency. and hit OK. Now we have a variable. You can see you can actually define the range here. From 0 to 1, I can change that to 200, and then apply. You can see now I have this frequency value. I can time that with the noise. So frequency auto completion, and then accept, select dream come true when you have that. And then you can drag the frequency here, and let's see. Oh, forget to try to multiply that. So multiplication and then $ frequency. Let me do apply. Okay, you can see now I'm having a higher frequency now, and I can lower that down and apply. Okay, you can see the difference does it make, right? Yeah, refresh that. Maybe it's not making that much of a difference. Okay, I guess I have to apply. You can see now that does change the noise in a random way. Okay, you can make it times 3. And maybe plus 0.5, because I kind of like at least 0.5 times plus 0.5. Okay, apply. Okay, so that way we're having more, but it's not everywhere. Again, cool, right? So that's gonna be another way we can just have the smallest chunks, but we're not having it everywhere. That way it's breaking up more and looks more natural. Okay, all right. So that's one thing we can do. So I accept that. Another thing we can do is have some stray hair. A stray hair can also be done with the expression here, because in the descriptions we can go for set stray percentage, and then we can say I want 20% of the hair to be stray hair. So you type in 20 and close that. And now what you can do is you can go to the noise, and here we're using a magnitude of 1 for everyone. But when we can go create an expression here, we can say, okay, instead of 1, I'm gonna make it different for stray hair and non-stray hair. So we type in stray, and then parentheses, and then question mark. What it does is basically asking, okay, is this a stray hair? If it is, I'm gonna use a value of just to make it very visible, 20, comma, and 1. So if it is stray hair, you use value 20. If it's not stray hair, use value 1. Okay, and try apply that. You can see now we have some hair that does having a lot of noise. So we can then tweak that. So we can say, okay, instead of using 20, I'm gonna add a widget here in line 1, add a stray hair noise. So I'm gonna go for a stray hair magnitude. So float stray hair magnitude, and max will be maybe I'm gonna go for 10, and then okay. All right, now I can do, oops, I can use $. Sometimes I cannot type, I'm not sure why. $, stray hair magnitude, and then column, and then 1. Okay, and then apply. Got some syntax arrow, and go back here. So yeah, I don't really need, why am I having a stray hair and magnitude, and then it's a little weird though sometimes. Apply that. Okay, all right. So now I can go drag this guy up, and then apply. You can see now I have some stray hair pops out. So those are something we can do, and I think for the stray hair I kind of wanted to have a little bit more, but I don't want them to have such a big frequency here, right? So let me accept that, and then again in the frequency we can do the same expression. And add a widget here and floats, say stray hair frequency. And then means 0, max is gonna be whatever. Try I think 1 is fine for now, and hit OK.
All right, and then instead of using this one, I'm gonna say, is it straight hair? Is it a straight hair? If it is, this editor is having some weird thing happening. So straight hair, right? And then we type in, we're using the straight hair frequency here, or we're using a value of 1. I believe that we don't need semicolon at the very end. And that should be it. So let me apply. Okay, cool. So now we have the straight hair frequency, and we can change that to tell the straight hair to do more noise or not. You can see now we have those straight hair popping out. Okay, let's accept that. Cool. So now we have the option of defining straight hair. You can see with those straight hairs, it just looks much better, and they're all done with expression. So you can see it is important to know something about it, because it really helps, right? It really helps to break up the hair with those expressions. All right, cool. So that's going to be the technical part of the Xgen hair, and that concludes the total Xgen hair tutorial. Thanks for watching. See you next time.